Hi, it's been a while since I talked to you guys. I'm getting a lot of email pertaining to, asking me question and how is the controller and all that stuff. Um, we had our hope very high on the controller, which that went sideways. The controller, they were custom built for me. They were a controller for stepper motor, which is not the motor I've been working with. We just find out not too long ago, a couple of gentlemen came up here. One is a physicist, and the other one and is also an electronic engineer. And you never see those motors before, so it was kind of an interesting thing. And it finally, he had his own thought about motor, and I told him no, it's not, and stuff like that. So he had to kind of go home and dig up in his research and phone a few people who he knows and stuff like this, and he finally got really into research, finding where the motor was invented the first time by a German fellow in 1923-24. Was crushed. The German inventor invented a motor, invented a generator, and it all got crushed, and then and you find about a lot of stuff, and we're not supposed to have those motors right now. Only supposed to be for, a few people who know what they're playing with. So I'm just in the motion of we send a motor into a company, a manufacturer to produce high-end. They're working in drones, not RCs but drones, large full-size scale drones. And they have controller, and the technology we're playing with, or I'm playing with, is very simple. They already have that. They're just not open to public. Everybody's playing with amp here. They let the peasant play with amp and watt, and they're playing with volts, that's where you're supposed to have volts. That's what Tesla came out, volt, right? Volt, 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 and more volts. And that's what makes everything easy to work with, very powerful, really, really cheap to run. This guy, he came out to me and he said, this motor is capable of putting out, the drum motor we're working with, the washing machine drum motor is capable of about 500 kilowatt output. And that's only putting probably about maximum, maybe 5 or 6 amp into it. Very little current, maximum amount output. So now we know that. I rearranged the stator, the sequence on the stator. I managed to make it work with an RC controller, a 40 volt RC controller at 1300 RPM. Powerful as hell, can't stop him. The maximum drop of RPM at full RPM, and I put full brake on it. I can only drop the RPM by 200 RPM, so I was still above 1100 RPM, and I couldn't slow it down anymore. I was literally gaining strength. The torque in those motors climbs up as the volt goes up, so you don't lose like most motors. You climb up and then you peter down. It doesn't have, this thing keep climbing up. It doesn't have a limit of climbing up to its self-destruction. I think if I read my email right yesterday, somewhere today sending me a controller it's a programmable controller for those type of vehicle, and they can be programmed to the stator. So if the stator have so many legs, you can switch that, and if the stator is timing is in different degrees, we can move that to custom made. So we're going to try that one, since the last 2 bucks was not working for me. They were working for, I can make a stepper motor now, spin probably around about 2 million RPM, but that doesn't help me. Stepper motor, they're small, and and they just don't run the same way this motor run. So just to let you know, we're working on it. We're very close. Everything is ready. The generator is ready. Everything is ready. The head's on it. I spin it, and of course 1300 RPM is not enough to produce any voltage of the generator, because it's got to achieve 2600 RPM before the, like I explained that in my other video, before the energy clamp into it and start producing a magnetic field or a magnetic force into the rotor. And that only happened with a certain amount of G-force and rotation. So that's why those generators only produce volt roughly around about 2600 RPM, and then you'll produce more volt as you're climbing up to the 3600, so they give you your cycle and all that, since it's a double coil rotor. So and it's self-energized. It's no brush, whatever. And but the motor when we're done, when we figure out, when we get the proper controller and stuff like this, it could be scaled up, scaled down. This drive, those hyperdrive, can turn anything in this planet. It's not one thing you cannot turn. And even if you don't want to make it turn by itself, because they're capable of self-running, if you don't, you can put it into a place to replace another motor you have, and it will run on a fraction of the cost and give you a much better performance, and no heat or flame and burning and stuff like this out of it, because they run on voltage, which is cool and cold at the same time. Yeah, so I'm trying to make it, we're just waiting for parts, and people, they just like, they want to send you some stuff, but it doesn't work. I mean, like, you're spinning your wheels and getting stuff that doesn't work. It doesn't really help. And it's pretty bad. We have to send a motor who is made in China back to China from eBay, so those companies know what motor we're working on. So that's how bad it is, because the factory who makes the little jar doesn't know what is going to go in the little jar, and they don't care. They don't give a shit, because their job is to make that little jar, right? So they don't care about the rest. As long as they make the little jar and they can go home, that's all they want to think. They don't want to think of anything else. When the LG manufacturer, Hong Kong LG manufacturer, is blocks away from the company who makes those controller, or those power drive, and we have to send one from North America back into China so they can take a look at that motor to make sure they have the right motor. It's pretty, as far as I'm concerned, it's pretty fucking stupid. But that's the world we're living in. We're living in a world of stupid. So, and that's what takes everything takes some time. So, time-wise, a month, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months. Who the fuck knows? We're living in a world of stupid. So it might take 2 years before we have the proper controller into it. We don't know. We're living in a world of stupid. When someone can tell me, we can do that faster, then the only way you can do it is get in a fucking plane, fly to the company with a motor in your back pocket, stay there till you get a controller work properly, then come back. And that, you're looking at about $30, $40, maybe $50,000 just for your trip, right? So, how long is it going to take me? Your guess is just as good as mine at that point in time. I'm just going as fast as I can get the stuff here so I can test it. So, this is my update. I'm not dead. I'm just doing as it goes, testing that, burning stuff. I blow up my little controller. I was having fun with it and I overvolted. Now I know not to start with a 40 volt controller. Don't start with 60. You can run with 60 volt, but don't turn it on at 60 volt. You will hear a nice little click in it, and that's the end of it. So beside that, I do some drawing. I sent some drawing and my friend there in Israel for how to put this generator together. I did it in 5 minutes yesterday from scratch to put all the pieces together, having the drive on the generator head. I can do that in 5 minutes, completely finished. So it's not that complicated. easy unit. We find better generator than the one I'm using from Switzerland. They're magnet type of generator. They're 24/7. They have I don't know how many millions of hours before you have to change anything in it. They're not brushed. So we're looking into that. But first thing, we got to turn the hyperdrive has got to turn to our demanding RPM, and that's the bottom line. And I'm not going to put a bunch of moving parts, which is not necessary, like a multiplier and a multiplier on the shaft. Like people told me, you can put a multiplier planetary system. I'm not putting that, because why adding 50 moving parts when it's not required to? So if people want to do that, knock yourself out. Do yourself, right? Doesn't bother me, man. I'm not in a race here. So whoever comes out first with that, thumbs up. That means I can do something else, right? So besides that, that's about it. Still alive, as you can see. So hopefully that's going to give you an updated. But you know, everything is pretty much wait and see, wait and see, wait for parts. I test it. Then we test, reply, no, that's not working, this is working. That's what we are sitting and waiting right now. So I hope you have a good day, and we'll probably chat you in the next 3 to 4 weeks. If I have something good, if I have something exciting and stuff like this, I'll do a video and people can see it, you know, so I have something excited. But right now the only excitement I got is go to the post office and check if I have something in the mail, or waiting for a text on my phone to say if I have a parcel coming. So that's all my excitement I'm waiting right now. So, all right, folks, it's all yours, and we'll talk to you when I get some news.